you very much. Good morning everyone as well, if I got it correctly from Roberta. If my AI works fine, then she already explained why I'm here and why George could not be here. So I'm here to introduce you to a presentation that he mainly produced. I made some alterations at the end, but it's what George would like to present to you here today. So the name of my presentation is with respect to innovative solutions on city community policing and neighborhood watch. We have heard quite a few interesting presentations today, and I will present things from a different perspective, from the research perspective. So it's commonly known that community policing, the community area of policing focuses on decentralized operation design, and that the diversification and evolution of crime made evident that we needed contribution from the citizens. We needed more eyes on the street and more information. And as a result, more and more European countries are adopting community policing and neighborhood watch schemes for combating crime. And they're targeting building trust between citizens and the NDAs into effectively investigating crime and increasing the feeling of safety in public, which is very important. So nowadays we are talking about crowdsourced information. This is information that comes from social media, from digital applications. Most of you have mentioned the use of mobile apps, most of you have mentioned the use of websites. So this is crowdsourced information which we can utilize to get in real time a notion of what the public thinks and what happens out in the streets. So this tool will allow LEAs, law enforcement agencies, to leverage crowdsourced information. Information posted by the citizens is unstructured, it's free text, we cannot do much without processing it. And intelligent tools and technology are there to process this information efficiently in real time with the purpose to assist the authorities in accomplishing more. So towards that, the European Commission set as a priority to fund projects that promote this. And not just the European Commission, several EU bodies dedicate funds, and we're talking about hundreds of millions towards this aspect. And specifically today I'll speak about the European Commission and the topic FCT 14 of 2014, funded under the Horizon 2020 framework, which called for solutions particular to community policing, so as to strengthen community policing principles, to target area identification, prevention of crime, better crime reporting, identification of risks, etc. Toward that topic, more than 300 proposals around Europe were submitted, and from those 5 consortiums were accepted and funded with more than 24 million euros. So 77 organizations were funded from 27 EU countries with experts on that field. Among those proposals, INSPECT, which is a project coordinated by Mr. Moudakis, scored first. It was ranked the first in both the evaluation of the proposals phase and also after its completion. So by the European Commission, it's the best project from that topic. So the INSPECT consortium was composed of 18 organizations from 8 different countries, and was reinforced with a stakeholder advisor group towards which EUNWA was also an organization, and EEG experts group with 12 members from experts around Europe, US and Brazil. We also had 4 organizations that were LEAs, practicing community policing. So we had a really good match of experts in the area. So it is evident that there is a need of innovation, a need of technology in this field. So going back to 2009, we saw that smart policing entered the scheme of things. Smart policing means that we are utilizing technology, tools, data analysis to process information in real time and to assist people out on the street to make the best decisions. It also has to do with visualization of information. So you have a number of messages, you have a number of data coming in. How can we visualize things in a way that makes sense and allow us to have situational awareness and assessment at this stage? So community policing works on different principles, and it's been thought that it's the most significant area in police organization, changing since the introduction of telephone, automobile, and two-way radio. So we're comparing community policing with innovations such as telephone and cars. So that's great, that's amazing. So there's the emerged need to have smart participatory policing to combine these two aspects. And because these two types of policing are very diverse and very different from each other, the one is using highly advanced technological schemes, and the other is using breaking down barriers between police and citizens. They want to increase the relationship between citizens and officers. So these two are a bit far from each other. So INSPEC tried to combine the good qualities of both practices and develop a solution, a technological solution, software that you can use that is heavily assisted by advanced technological tools that operate in real time. This is very important. Achieve secure and targeted communication between involved stakeholders. So it's important to analyze data that comes in real time. It's important to forward data to the appropriate group and to the appropriate people, and provides advances in coordinated service delivery and seamless interface to legacy systems. So in INSPEC we have also, as I said, we had 4 partners that were LEAs, so they already had their legacy systems, the systems they normally use for other aspects as well, and this solution was compatible to work with those systems. So we're not replacing whatever is there, we're trying to reinforce. So the technology is working towards that direction, enhancing things that are already there. So INSPEC worked on a pan-European approach. We have evaluated the needs from all Europe. We have gathered questionnaires, more than 3,000 experts filled in our questionnaires with requirements, and that had to do with local and national police departments, police academies, cities, municipalities, NGOs, and this sort of thing. So we have tried to gather as much as possible around that, and our target was to improve the evidence database, how we sustain evidence and how information is stored and retained and managed by the municipalities and the LEAs, and to improve early warning identification of public safety and security risks. So we have developed a methodology for enhanced crime reporting. You could easily report a crime with a couple of clicks, let's say. This would allow timely intervention, and the most important thing is that through INSPEC we managed to provide citizens with feedback very early, in real time, without hassling the police to type in or to lose time in communicating back to everyone who has reported. The system would do that automatically. So as you can see, there's different layers. We bring together community policing, citizens, legacy systems of LEAs that are currently in operation. We have the command and control operators in the system, and there's a highly complex and thorough system for data analysis and for data extraction, for knowledge extraction. INSPEC was piloted in 5 different countries: Valencia in Spain, Nicosia, Cyprus, Belfast in North Ireland, Groningen in the Netherlands, and Preston in the UK. We have received very positive comments from all of them, but after the finalization of the project, we all identified that there's a need for the development of such a system. So we have progressed with the development of AdiTask, is the successor of Inspect, and this has been developed by my company, by the company I represent. So after the 5 pilots of Inspect, we have gathered feedback that we didn't have time to put in for the Inspect system. So we have done that in AdiTask, and we're targeting for a TRL9 product, which means it can go out and be used by LEAs. And that's because several LEAs and municipalities and stakeholders has requested for this solution. Since Inspect finished, we have carried out 2 more pilots, 3-month pilots this time. The one was in Crete, and that was on a scheme between shopkeepers and LEA, so collaboration between shopkeepers and LEA under a peak period of a peak season, let's say, with many tourists. And in San Sebastian, Spain, for a similar scenario with police and neighborhood watch. So we have 2 different scenarios, 2 different cases. So we demonstrated next generation intelligence reporting, real-time 2-way communication between citizens and public authorities. We could support multimedia, audio, video, GPS reporting through a user-friendly mobile app for the reduction of operational costs. So I have added this slide just to explain the footprint of AdiTask with the 2 alpha pilots that we run. We continuously evolve this solution towards its finalization, and we already have market interest from several organizations that are waiting for this solution to be completed so that they can use it. I hope I made it evident that it's not just an application that's trying to transform the paper working that is done into a digital version. It has a complex system on the back end and allows capturing real-time feedback by crowdsourcing information to and from general public. It assists relationship building between citizens and LEAs. It builds methods of increasing efficiency in report handling and allows immediate interaction and provision of feedback. For LEAs, that could mean that they can get feedback in tactical and strategic level, meaning that you can place your resources whenever you see that there is an issue, and you can gather information at strategic level with respect to how the crime evolves in your city. So, on the other hand, citizens get real-time progress updates of their reports. We have transparency. We have announcements about incidents that may affect the general public and feedback about the participation of incidents. So citizens have the incentive of participating because they are rewarded. They feel that their information is valued. So I think I said most of this. So I don't want to trouble you anymore. So we're speaking about a superset solution that supports modularity and allows deployment of necessary interfaces. So if we don't want the whole system, we can use specific parts of the system to enhance an already existing infrastructure. We're talking about real-time two-way communication. There's separation between different groups. We can separate between information that goes from one way to the other. There's the ability to broadcast content to the general public or to other groups, and we can work with legacy applications. Another important thing is data control and ownership. When you're using applications such as WhatsApp or Viber or whatever, you don't have ownership of your data. This solution and research is funded towards this, so that LEAs and authorities have ownership of their data and can control where data goes and how it flows, which is really important. And one important aspect of Inspect was to make this solution GDPR and PCJA ready. So this is very good, and this is something you should, as stakeholders, look into when utilizing systems. It's very important nowadays to check how your data is preserved and how data is maintained in the systems that you provided. Finally, I would like to mention that Adidas is an active EUNWA member, so we will be keen in supporting the activities of the organization. And this is a message I also have from George. He will fully support the activities of EUNWA. He's very sorry he could not be here with you today, but he's totally in the spirit of things and he will try to make the best possible. Thank you very much.
One question.
Yeah. If you were Italian, I would need my earpiece, but since you speak English, it's fine. Yeah.
In the meantime, during your project, we have a very strongly changed data protection laws, European. I personally think you are heavily infected by that. No one is allowed at the time to take pictures or videos in the public from persons you want to load up. How can we overcome this?
Yes, INSPEC, I mean this is a good thing because INSPEC was funded by the European Commission and the European Commission knew that the GDPR regulation would start being active effectively by May of 2018. So when we were working on INSPEC, we already took into consideration the GDPR. And as I said, we didn't only consider GDPR but also PCJA. And for that we have developed aspects. I mean, when people, for instance, if you are reporting something for security purposes, then GDPR doesn't apply. If you are sending the information to a police department, then PCJA applies and the police can retain it for as long as they wish. But the INSPEC application, and therefore the other task application, implements data aging control so that information no longer exists in the databases if it's not related to criminal activity. But we have also added on the terminals, on the mobile apps and on the portals the mechanism so that when a citizen uploads something, the data is no longer stored on their phone. So if you're taking a picture to report a crime, you upload the picture through the app to the system, and the app removes the picture immediately from your phone, so you don't have to worry anymore about such issues. So there's a few mechanisms already implemented in there to handle that.
Conform to legality.
Yeah. And of course there's modularity, so that we can, I mean, each country has different regulations, so there's flexibility in the system to allow for that.
Thank you, Lisa.